Hello everybody. So if you guys have a Frigidaire air fry range and you are having some questions regarding on using it, then this is the correct video for you. I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks to using your Frigidaire air fry range so you have the best experience. Alright, so first off, what is a Frigidaire air fry range? Well, a Frigidaire air fry range is a range that has an oven with an air fryer capability inside of it. So basically, it superheats your air, and then the convection fan circulates it around the food, and then you use the tray that you gotta buy separately and put your food on here, and it has holes in it so the air can get around it and circulate and crisp up the food. Now, a lot of people have been having some problems with their air fry ranges, and that is because they're not using them properly. And I'm going to show you how to use this range properly and all the precautions you should take before using your air fry range. Alright, so first of all, when you get your air fry range brand new, you need to do what's called a burnout phase. I recommend running a self-clean cycle before you cook anything in your new oven. That's not just for Frigidaire air fry ranges, that's for all ovens, all manufacturers of all ovens. I recommend you run a self-clean cycle. That'll give it time to burn off all the oils and stuff on the heating elements and the burners. Okay, now, this video is specific for Frigidaire air fry ranges. So, the first and the one and most important thing you need to do when using your air fry range is if you're using a Frigidaire ready cook air fry tray that you have to purchase separately for $50, you need to make sure you have a cookie sheet underneath it. If you don't have a cookie sheet underneath it, grease and stuff is going to drip down below onto the bottom of the oven, and that is going to cause it to smoke. So, and also I've been reading the reviews of this. A lot of people are saying these are smoking, and I've heard about this happen. Remember, it even happened to me one time. And that is because I use too much oil. And one important thing you have to remember is this air fry mode is going to get your oven super hot. So if you use too much oil, all the oil is going to get sucked in by the convection fan. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but there is a heating element right back there with the convection fan. You can see it when it's turned on, but it's basically that bar right there. But basically what will happen is if you use oil, well, too much oil, a little bit of oil is fine, but if you use too much oil, what will happen is the fan will suck in the oil, it'll get on the heating element and burn and cause it to smoke. So, another thing you can do to prevent your air fry range from smoking is to self-clean it every 3 months. I think that's a great way to help keep it performing at its best. Also, whenever you're done air frying, I recommend running the steam clean cycle, which is a 20-minute low heat process, and it basically loosens up soils so you can wipe them away. And that also does a great job. Alright, so if you're here because you don't know how to use one, well, I'm going to show you how. So the first thing you're going to want to do is preheat your air fryer. You're going to push air fry in the control panel, and that'll bring up the air fry mode. And you're going to set to a temperature that you recommend, that your recipe recommends. You don't want to use too high of a temperature because it's already going to get hotter than your set temperature. It's going to get about 100 degrees hotter, and then once it gets up to that temperature, it's going to stay at that hot temperature for a while and then gradually cool down. And then the algorithm that's programmed into the oven will do a great job of air frying the food. So, what you do is you take this comes out here, this wire tray. So you put your rack in on the middle rack, the holder for the air fryer tray. Put that on the middle rack, put your cookie sheet below, and then go ahead and preheat it. Once it is preheated and you have your food on here, you want to make sure you do this with oven mitts because the oven's going to be super hot. You take your air fryer tray, and you put it on the rack. And then once it's on the rack, you want to make sure it gets in there firmly so it's not going to fall all over the place. And then double check that you have your tray underneath it before you get going. And then one important thing that you need to do while you're air frying is watch your food closely. Air frying is going to cook your food super fast. So if you don't watch closely, you might turn around and the next thing you know it, your food is burning and your smoke alarms are going off. Well, That's why I always recommend turning your temperature down a little bit less than what the recipe says, usually about 25 degrees less, and setting the timer for a shorter amount of time, checking it, and if it's not done, adding more time. But if you use your air fry range correctly, by far you will have the best experience with it. It is a great thing to have in an oven. I absolutely love it. I do French fries in it all the time. Wings come out pretty good. I do all sorts of great food in my air fry range. I probably air fry 99% of the time when I'm using this oven. So that is basically a little summary about some tips and tricks about using the Frigidaire air fry range. You want to make sure that you have your tray there, first of all, so nothing gets on the bottom and smokes. You don't want to use too much oil. You don't want to heat the oven too hot or your food will burn. You want to keep an eye on it. And if you do all those things and you use it properly, you will have the best experience with it. So, if you guys purchase one of these and you are having issues with it, leave your issues down in the comments below, and I will try to get back with you as soon as possible so I can go over your issues and give you some tips and tricks. But these are the most common issues I have found with it, and I decided to give you some tips and tricks in this video so you know how to use it correctly, and if you have issues, maybe this video helped you out. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell to turn on all notifications, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you all so much.